Okay, students, so we're here with another day of medians and centroids. This is part 2, and these are actually the final day of guided notes, and then we'll be doing a test here soon. We'll talk more about the test though as we review for it. So hopefully we can remember what we learned yesterday. Right here, this is a median. All right, so point T is a midpoint. So tick, tick. All right, that side's congruent to that side. All right, that's how we form medians. Remember, when you're driving down the street, those grass things in the middle of the road that divide them, that's called a median. They're in the middle. All right, so in this problem right here, it's saying, well, TP, which is this length right here, is 2.75. What's RP? So what we're going to do is say, well, since this is the midpoint, this side is also 2.75. So RP is just 2.75 plus 2.75, which is 5.5. All right. Now, let's see, let's do number 3. It says find X. All right, so remember, midpoint, that's the median. Tick, tick. VE is X minus 3. VD is 2X minus 9. All right, this is like problems we did back in Unit 1. Such a long time ago, but we just have two sides of a midpoint. You set them equal to each other. Boom, X equals 6. If you're a little confused how I did that, I got a little excited. I subtracted X from both sides. I plus 9 to both sides. Boom. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's go back up to number 2. I bounce around. I get to do whatever I want. Remember, where the centroids intersect, or where the medians intersect, that's called a centroid. It's the balancing point. All right. So now it's saying find FT if FX is 4. So this is like a basic problem. We did these problems yesterday, so the hard part is just remembering. But remember that to get from vertices to centroid and then the centroid to midpoint, you divide by 2. So TF is really just 2. If you can remember that it's doubled or half, however you want to think about it, then you can quickly find that the answer is 2. Okay? Now let's see, what do we got in this problem right here? Find X, GY. So it's saying GY is 11X minus 1, and YR is 6X minus 1. Okay. So it's the same problem as before. Now what I like to do is I always like to take the the smaller one and multiply it by 2. Why? If we divided the brown stuff by 2, which we could, you'd run in some fractions, maybe some decimals, it just gets a little uglier. So I'm just going to take the smaller side, multiply it by 2, and set it equal to the bigger side. All right, and some pretty cool things happen. I get to distribute 12x minus 2 equals 11x minus 1. All right, then I'm going to plus 2 to both sides, subtract 11x. I'm going to get x equals 1. That's it. Sweet. Cool. All right. Now, I have a feeling 5 and 6 are going to be a little bit more challenging. Let's see. All right. Find KJ Actually, I don't think this one's going to be very hard. I think number 6 is the hard one. The doozies of all doozies. Alright. X minus 3, remember that's the midpoint, so tick, tick. And then FK is 12x minus 12. So just another midpoint one. We actually probably could have done this one after we did number 3. I didn't though. Why? No good reason. I get to do whatever I want. So we're going to x plus 9 equals 2x. Subtract x from both sides. And then 9 will equal x. So it said find kj. So there's a couple ways I can do this. I can plug in 9 here and there, which I kind of like to do. Why? Because if I get the same number both times, it tells me I did very good math. And spoiler alert, both sides are 6. So the whole thing, kj, the whole stinking thing, is going to be 6 plus 6, which equals everyone's favorite number, 12. Alright. And now we got just one more problem in these guided notes, or for these videos. Still got a lot in these guided notes. Wow, look at all that fun stuff. Just one more problem for this video. Find QT. Alright, this one's going to be the hard one. X minus 3. And then the whole stinking thing is 2x minus 9. So I'm going to give you guys a little hint. QM is 2/3 of the whole length. So if QM's 2/3 the whole length, we're not going to multiply x minus 3 by 2/3. We're going to multiply the whole length by 2/3, and then they'll equal each other. Alright, so this equation that I just wrote out was the hard part. Alright, usually about 10% of students can figure it out in a live classroom. The other 90% need a little help. So if you didn't see that one coming, don't feel too bad about yourselves. We're practicing, we're developing our skills, we're getting better. Alright, now this divided by 3 right here, I freaking can't stand. I hate it. I want to get rid of it. I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Why? These 3's destroy each other on the right hand side. They cancel out. 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. It's redundant to write the 1. That's the real reason we do it. And then once I get to this equation in red, I think we become in very good shape. You guys have the skills and ability just to distribute. We get 3x minus 9 equals 4x minus 18. Subtract 3x from both sides. We're going to get negative 9 equals x minus 18 plus 18 to both sides. And 9 equals x. Alright, and then it told me to find QT, so that's exactly what I'll do. Plug it in there. You get 2 times 9 minus 9. And that actually just equals 9. So QT, the whole length is 9. And just a little fun fact, some follow-up stuff. I can plug in 9 for here, and I would get 6. Remember, the other part would be half, so I know that's 3 and it all works out. 6 plus 3 equals 9. Cool beans. Alright, in the next video, stay tuned. We got some logic questions, some fun stuff.